Welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Cush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. All right, everybody, welcome. Welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush. That's how it's going to have to be. We are all green tonight because we are finding alternatives to our good friend, which one? This one, Green Chartreuse. The image is flipped, so I don't always know which hand I'm pointing at. Green Chartreuse. There we go. Hey, everybody, there's Green Chartreuse. Green Chartreuse, of course, over the past few years, specifically since the pandemic, has been rising in price. The monks decided at one point they're not going to rise. They're not going to make more of this Green Chartreuse in order to meet demand. They don't want to pull extra stuff from the earth, and they want to get back to praying. So that is what our task is tonight. Then is to find alternatives. So I have 2 of them. One of them is made in France. This guy. This is Dolin. Dolin, a very famous French company. And then this guy right here, very excited about this. I have not cracked this open. I've never tasted this. I thought that this stuff was a myth for a while. But this is actually called the Vegetal. Let me do it in French. Vegetal de la Grande-Chartreuse. Better known in sort of a loving way as the elixir. This stuff is sort of very concentrated chartreuse, and as it turns out, you can find it now. So I did find it. We're going to be tasting these. That's what the thing is today. We're going to be making them all in one of Chartreuse's most famous cocktails called the Last Word. So we're going to be making the 3 last words tonight, and we're going to see if either one of these is a viable alternative to chartreuse. That's the thesis of the show. So hopefully you guys are interested in that. If you're not, and it seems like not many of you are, that's fine. Honestly, watch it later. Let me say hello to the people in here. Good evening to our good friend Genepy and Végétal. The reason that we're doing this today is because Genepy and Végétal got a bottle of Del Santo. So I was like, Shani's got one. I guess that means I can get one. Alas, I could not. They did not sell it at my local liquor store. Even though my liquor dealer, one of my favorite dudes in the whole world, Mike from Vintage Wine and Spirits, did point me in this direction. So thank you to Mike for that. But Sean, we're watching your Instagram account. And sometimes we're going to get inspired. Let me say hello to our good friend Tiki Tom Hubbard. Giving a hey, Sean. Get a little, what happened to it? Hereby, Sean. Well, hereby, Sean. Hates the autocorrect. We all hate autocorrect. That is actually autocorrect mistakes is my wife's favorite type of comedy. I did comedy for like 15 years, pretty professionally. She wasn't interested in what I had to say. She loves it, though, when I say it wrong on a text. That's her favorite thing. Shawnee tried out that Del Santo again, able to pull a few notes from it. Cool. Well, we're going to find those notes today. We're going to be talking about what is similar, what is different, specifically between the Genepy and the Chartreuse, because those are 2 different formulas. This formula right here is actually pretty much the exact same as this one. This and this, very similar, but much more concentrated. So we're going to see what we do. Everybody wants to know, Shawnee P., what do you think about that Del Santo? We'll figure it out. Here's DC Debbie Clark, winner of the 2023 Cush Tucky Derby. A real picker of horses, that one. Good to see you. Scotty DuBois is in. Good to see old Scotty. Love when Scotty shows up. Reed Landers. I don't even know if you guys know who Reed Landers is. I mean, I don't know if you know his true moniker, his real form, his final form, possibly. Reed Landers is the Apostle of Tiki. Good to see you, the Apostle of Tiki. We were just talking about you the other day on the show, but we were mentioning the Apostle Pour. How if a recipe says put 1.5 ounces in, you say, no, I'm good. 2 ounces, please. That's the Apostle Pour. Wow, big sports night. Lakers, Yukon, and the Yukon or Lakers, Warriors, and the Yukon Huskies. That's big. It's big to some people. Love that. Cheers to you, Paul. Paul, I'll give you a call this week. I got to pop over. See possibly Tuesday. Let's see who else we got. Scotty DuBois loves Green Chartreuse. My local store had 4 bottles in stock, so I had to pick a couple up. Hope the stock comes back to normal. I think that it will eventually. I don't think that the monks are going to start making more. I just think there's a bit of a panic right now because the monks said that they weren't going to make excess. They're one of the only companies in the world that does not believe in infinite growth. They're like, listen, this is as much as we're going to make. Don't ask us to make more, you dorks. The chartreuse is at the local store of the low carb cocktail guy. If you guys know where that is, pop on over, say hi. Oh, there's the Apostle Tiki. Change his name. Oh, he's in 2 places. He signed into the wrong one. Go find the Apostle Tiki. He is always writing about fun tiki stuff. The last word is the greatest non-tiki cocktail. Well, we're certainly going to find out. I mean, we're not going to make all the other cocktails, but we're certainly going to do that one and that one only. So the greatest cocktail tonight. Tonight. Yes, Sean unmasked the Apostle. Sorry about that, buddy. I should have kept you quiet. Debbie, it's been too long. Absolutely. Susan Lang's giving a what up to the Cushies. The veggie one. Oh, not chartreuse. Oh, chartreuse. You cannot. Don't worry about it, guys. You cannot find Green Chartreuse where the low carb cocktail guy is shopping, but you can find. Oh, you can find the Vegetal. Yeah, honestly, we're gonna talk about that for a second before we make stuff with it, because apparently it's now a thing. Apparently, it is the new thing to do. It's what's with all the cool kids, all the hip cats, all the non-squares are doing, the circles, basically. That's what they're doing. Okay, let's get into it. Oh, look at this real quick. I did it right finally. This is from Facebook. Finally got Facebook working on here. It's like a 10-step process, but it works. We're also, if you're watching on Instagram, I can read your Instagram comments. Okay. Oh, people wondering where Kyle is. Kyle had a bit of a tree emergency. Hopefully the tree will be fine. Not our tree. He was called in by one of his other minions and was hoping that he would get back in time. But, you know, sometimes bartenders run solo. I'm running solo tonight. All right. Let's get into it. Chartreuse. Chartreuse is a very old liqueur. It was first given to the Carthusian monks in the year of our Lord 1604. 1604. That's a long time ago. It was given by a guy who I think, let me see if I can get his name right. I have to put on my French accent. François Anibal de Estras. It always goes Spanish at the end. His name is François Hannibal de Estreses. How do you pronounce that in French? Not a clue. We're going to call him Frankie Hands. All right, Frankie Hands. Frank's the Hands. So Frankie Hands hands over this manuscript to these wonderful monks. Oh, gosh, this isn't on. Filled it up. There we go. Should we start it over? He hands over this manuscript. He hands over this list of ingredients to this monastery, this whole home of monks, and says, guys, you're going to love this. I promise. And it turns out they didn't. They didn't really like it at first. It was not their favorite thing. It took them 123-ish years to eventually start making this thing that this guy had handed over. Now, I'm sure that the monks had other things to do. You know, I don't know what they were like redoing the interiors of cars. I don't know what the monks were doing at this point to make a little money, maybe painting houses. I don't know what it was, but they finally did get around to something. I love a monk that takes his time, and they eventually made something that looked like this. This is the elixir, the Vegetal de la Grande-Chartreuse. Very strong stuff. Comes in at 69%. Nice. Comes in at 69%. From what I have heard, I've never tasted this stuff before. In fact, it is still factory monastery sealed. We're going to have to cut that open and get into it. but it is coming in at 69%. It is basically all of the herbs, the 130 herbs that go into chartreuse. It's just crammed in there, really squished in there. So you don't treat this like it is a liqueur. Instead, you treat it like it is like a bitters, basically. Took them a little while to sort of wrap their heads around this stuff. And then about 100 years later, they came out with the big old fat bottle of Green Chartreuse. I can't tell my left from my right at this point. This right here, the Green Chartreuse, the liquor, so nice, they named a color after it. Now, everybody says it's the only liquor that has a color named after it. That, of course, is not true. Would anybody else like to tell me the other one? And you can't just say, don't just say like it's gin clear. That's cheating. There's a whole nother, there's not necessarily a liquor. I suppose it's not distilled. Anyway, think about it for a second. Get back to me. But they came up with this stuff. And then after a while, they decided, why don't we stop what we're doing? Everybody stop. Put your pencils down. Whatever I do monks write with pencils? No idea. Put your prayer books down, boys. We're going even lower ABV. They brought out the yellow chartreuse, and since then, that's the thing. I don't carry yellow chartreuse in my bar. Very expensive for something that I can sort of synthesize with other things. So instead, I do carry green chartreuse, mostly because, thank you, Doug and Melanie, please do not say Malort yellow. It is not Malort yellow. That is a horrible thing to say. Horrible person to say it. So that's what we got. Okay. If you guys don't know what it is burgundy. Burgundy the color. It's actually named after the region that the wine comes from. So I guess technically not, whatever. Okay. Oh, there we go. Tom Hubbard. Got it. Creme de Violette. That's Creme de Violette named after violets, but it is burgundy, Tom. Very good. I think just because of the time of that, with how this, there's a little delay. Anyway, this stuff sort of stayed. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody really was like way into it for a long, long time. Chartreuse wasn't until they made a big push in the 1980s. It showed up in some cocktails. Let's not say it didn't show up in some cocktails. It showed up in a great cocktail called The Last Word. Comes from like 1906, 1916. It's a 19 with a 6 at the end of it. From the Detroit Athletics Club, refound in like the early 2000s, became a huge thing. And then all of a sudden, all these monks, they got to get back to work. Got to start making that chartreuse again. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. Everybody decided that they were going to start drinking at home. Everybody found out how delicious chartreuse was. And this is kind of counterintuitive. You would think that people would really like to drink chartreuse. If they really like to drink chartreuse, they would drink a lot of it in bars. Bars would order a ton of it, and that would raise the demand. But turns out it wasn't that. It was that people started making this stuff at home. Demand skyrocketed by like 150%. And then the monks said, we're done. We're not, guys, we're going to make what we make. We got to get to prayers. We got to get to doing those big rakes with all the rocks. I assume that they all do that. And then we, in the meantime, will also continue to make chartreuse. So it's not that they're making less chartreuse. They're actually just not raising the chartreuse level to meet demand. So fret not. The chartreuse thing will go away. All we got, the chartreuse shortage will go away if we can find alternatives. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're making alternatives. We'll get into the Dolin in a minute, but let's start. Should we start? Let's make a last word. So a last word created at the Detroit Athletics Club, very early 19. Just one of those things that sort of disappeared, kind of like the aviation. The aviation sort of disappeared because people stopped making creme de violette. It just wasn't a thing. So people were putting just maraschino lemon gin into a cocktail and being like, oh, okay, fine. Until people went back through, found Hugo Enslin's version, and he mentioned something called creme de violette. Bartenders went back and found it. People decided they were going to try and remake it. They did, and it came back. That's not what we're talking about today. Anyway, a Green Chartreuse sort of dipped for a while. So did the cocktails like The Last Word, until bartenders decided they got to go make old stuff. And that's how we really got into. Hello. Hi, guys. Me. I think my feet pedals are just in the wrong place. I'm just going to do a quick adjust. You guys know I direct this show with my feet. Do a whole person's job with just my little tootsies. That's better. Yeah, that feels right. Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into how to make the last word. It's a very simple cocktail, all equal parts. The gin we're using tonight. Oh gosh, do I have enough gin? Oh no. Oh gosh. Since Kyle's not here, I might have to run out real quick and find more gin. No, we'll get through what we got here, and then we'll make a run for it. You guys can sit and talk to each other. Okay, let's get into the last word. Very simple. All equal parts. It is going to be equal parts lime, gin, chartreuse, and the Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. I'm going to be making them all in glass. That way, since I don't have Kyle right now to do my dishes, I'm going to make less dishes. Got him. So I don't have a baseline. Can we get some notes on Green Chartreuse, or am I getting ahead of myself? Oh, should we do that? Let's get some smelling. Let's do a little smelling. Let's smell a little Chartreuse. Nice clean glass. Pour this Green Chartreuse in. All right. It is not Loriander Blue Curacao. Blue Curacao is named after the color. I assume that that's what you were answering. Okay. So, what I'm smelling a lot of is pine. So there's a lot of pininess. Not the same kind of pine, not like juniper berries, but like an actual tree, an actual Christmas tree. I catch a lot of mint. There's 130 other things in here. So what am I at? 128 left. It's big. There's a lot of bigness going on in here. To be very honest, I don't exactly know. Oh, happy Burns Night to you, Forlorn Hope. It is Burns Night tonight. It is also Clear Ice Week. Those don't often happen in the same week, but happy Burns Night to everybody. Yeah, Shawnee, lots of pine, lots of mint. Beyond that, it is sort of tough to give a full rundown of everything that is in Chartreuse. The reason that it is still a secret recipe, only two monks know how to make it. The reason for that is because it is so complex. Let's give this a taste. It's good. It's really good. Yeah, I'm catching, I'll tell you real quick. I'm catching some menthol, absolutely. That's that mint. Not catching as much anise. We're catching a little less anise than what I would assume the Del Santo is, and I assume the Genepy is going to be. It's very heavy. This is a very heavy liqueur. Even though it comes in at 54%, it like coats the whole thing. It is pretty intense. God, what is that extra flavor I'm getting in there? It's something. It's certainly something. Serving Socrates over on Instagram saying Chartreuse, naked and famous. Yes, naked and famous, a spectacular cocktail. But not tonight. We're doing last words tonight. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately, Shawnee, since I've never tried the Del Santo, I can't really put them together. I have to assume that the menthol, the pine, those Genepy French Alpian. Can we say the Alpian? Alpine makes a lot of sense. Alpine herbs are making a big old play for this one. So let's get in here. We're gonna make small ones because we're gonna try our very best to get through just the gin we have here. Otherwise, I do have to leave you guys alone for a minute. And I've left bar patrons in bars before, and it always ends up poorly. So we're not going to do that. We're gonna make little halfers in here. So a little half ounce of each of these. All you got to do is remember it's equal parts. So we're gonna go ahead and put in 1 part Green Chartreuse. Now, obviously, I'm breaking my own rule. My own rule is cheapest ingredients first. This is by far the most expensive ingredient going into any of the things tonight. Although we will have to see what the Vegetal tastes like to see how much of that we need to put in here. Yep. Same smell. I have some fresh squeezed lime juice back here. You can tell it's fresh squeezed because it's in a Jim Beam bottle. Haven't even taken the label off yet. We'll turn this right there so it looks limey. That is lime juice. We are in the middle here of refreshing all of our pseudo juice. And thus, we are using the limes from that pseudo juice. That's how that works. We're going to go ahead and put in 1 part lime juice. Ooh, that's chunky. That's a chunky monkey right there. Put this in there. Oh, Bonbon's here. Hi, Bonbon. Did I already say that? Hi, Bonbon. Good to see you. Finishing my mammoth tusk. Well, good, Bonbon. If you want to have a second... Did I call you Bong Bong? Good, Bonbon. If you want to have a second mammoth's tusk, maybe you should try it with Genepy next. We're going to find out. My super juice is in a Hamilton White Stash bottle. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, that's how you keep pseudo juice. That's how you keep super juice. You keep it in an old bottle. It makes you look super legit. Gin. We're using this gin right here. This Brando Moto gin. It is a bit of a different flavor. For gin, this is a very tropical gin, but I like this gin. I know what this gin tastes like. It's the gin I've been drinking for a while, so this is a gin that will work well for my palate right now. Use whatever gin you would like. Find something that is London Dry. Find something that is... I wouldn't recommend an Old Tom gin in here. I feel like you're going to get way too much of the Alley Cat. I assume that's what Old Tom gin, that's what that smell you're tasting is. Mostly Alley Cat. We're going to go ahead and put in 1 part gin. Oh gosh. I think if we make them small, we can get through this bottle. Otherwise, we're going to be... Oh, I have Artesia. Dang, we should have used Artesia. We got to get through this. Let's do this again. We're going to go ahead and put in... I want to use a gin that I can get rid of. Forgot I had Artesia down there. Let me make sure that's gin. Oh, that's gin, baby. Whew. All right, Kyle has fixed his tree emergency, and he is on his way. Okay, go ahead and put in 1 part Green Chartreuse. We're gonna make them bigger now. I guess if Kyle's here, he could have brought it. Don't worry about it. Throw that in here. We're gonna be putting in 1 ounce of lime juice. No reason to put the lime juice away, I suppose. We're going to be reaching for that all night. Or 1 part lime juice. Go ahead and put in 1 part gin. We are now using Artesia gin. We did a little switcheroo. This was a gift from a friend of mine. It is good. It is fine. And it is going to go in this drink. 1 part gin. There we go. And 1 part of one of my very favorite liqueurs of all time, Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. It is here. It is ready. We're going to go ahead and put in 1 part. Normally 3/4 of an ounce. That's a lot to put in of this stuff. So you need big flavors to sort of hide how very big this is. So hit that with 1 part of the Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. Glug, 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 glug. And we are going to stir. Let's get a big piece of ice. I've really liked watching some of your ice journeys after we did our behind thirst scenes. You guys jumped right on that. I know that Dougie G texts me, 3, 5, 7, or 8 times a day, just showing me pictures of ice. Normally, I would tell people you get 1 text a day, but if you want to send me ice, you can text me all day. Honestly, I'm way into it. So we're gonna drop this beautiful piece of ice right in here. Normally, you serve it with a cherry. I don't want to do that. We're going to use our good friend Dale's little finger. Gaz's finger. Give that a nice big stir. Yes, sir. Get it from another angle, not that angle, this angle. And there you have it. This is a traditional last word, even made with things like London Dry Gin. You can use any kind of gin. Here we go, Scotty DuBois, suggesting maybe the Empress Gin. Empress Gin would work very well in here. I think if you do want a more tropical, flavor, I would suggest Brando. I think legally I have to suggest Brando. But I also really like Brando. So that's that. This is what we got. Let's give this a taste. See how we do. Oh my God. It is such a bummer. It is such a bummer that that the monks are not super capitalists. I would love if these men of God would get way more into capitalism because they aren't meeting demand, and this becomes a fairly it becomes like a luxury to have Green Chartreuse. Not only is it expensive when you buy it, but you can't find it. I was talking to Mike, my good friend Mike, remember, at Vintage Spirits, and he said, listen, we get it. It comes in, they give us 4 bottles, and they're gone before the morning's over. So even if you can find it, you can't buy it, which is becoming a problem. So I really hope that one of these works, and we can find it. We find a better way. But the maraschino liqueur, I think, is one of the absolute stars of this, and I love maraschino liqueur. Normally, I don't ever suggest 3/4 of an ounce of it in anything, but in the last word, whoo, oh boy. Here's the taste. When I was I think I might have been in college. I went to go see a sketch show by my favorite TV show of all time, not Dr. Laura. I loved Dr. Laura when I was growing up, but my second favorite show, which actually came on right after Dr. Laura on a different channel, it was called The Kids in the Hall. I love those guys. I thought that those were the funniest 5 dudes that have ever lived. And my girlfriend at the time, Tammy, her name was Tammy. I have a lot of Tammys in my life, it turns out. She got me tickets to go see Kids in the Hall, and I remember watching that whole sketch show, laughing until my stomach hurt. I couldn't even keep going. I had seen all these sketches, but when they do them live, they add new fun things. The Chicken Lady came on. Scott Thompson did his whole thing. My God, spectacular. And then I remember walking out of the theater and being depressed. I walked out of there sad, and I thought, what's going on here? And my thought was, I may never laugh that hard again. That might be the funniest thing I have ever seen. I get the same thing about this cocktail. Not that I'm laughing at it, but it is a perfect cocktail. It balances so well. Big, huge flavors on the Genepy, on the Green Chartreuse. Big, big flavors. The Luxardo Maraschino liqueurs, we got to put it in there at that level, because otherwise it's gonna disappear with everything else. It really is nice. Normally with gin, lemon, gin this time with lime, sort of sweeten things up a little bit, give it that all that big sweet, and then the gin just sort of brings it around. This is I couldn't agree more with our good friend the Apostle. You should always agree with the Apostle to begin with, because this guy knows tiki. He's one of the apostles of it. But I couldn't agree more. As far as non-tiki drinks, this has got to be up there. This has got to be. This has got to be it. That's perfect. I am sad. am sad now. I've made myself sad. How do you tell I'm sad? Because I'm laughing. That's how you can tell. I am sad now that Green Chartreuse is in such short supply. Because my goodness, it is delicious. That is just about a perfect cocktail. Oof. You know what? Let's have fun for a minute. For this next cocktail, we're gonna make it with our ice presser. What the heck happened here? Oh, there we go. The ice presser. I have a couple really nice large pieces of ice here. I got to do something to bring my spirits up because I can't be mourning a cocktail that I'm literally drinking right now. This, just in case anybody's wondering, if you guys watched the, let's put it on the good camera. If you guys watched the how to make clear ice in these guys, basically the same idea, just larger molds. These molds are harder to find. For some reason, they only come in 2s, which is why I have to cut this a little bit off. So that they will fit into my normal Coleman cooler. But same basic idea, I'll throw that in there. We got to warm that up for a second. So while we're making the drink, we will warm it up and go from there. Okay. We have found a piece of art that makes us think, makes us stare. I have a few of those. The Blue Boy. Anybody know the Blue Boy? Probably my favorite painting of all time. Let's do a book. Slaughterhouse 5. Slaughterhouse 5. I read Slaughterhouse 5, and I am unable to even think for a little bit afterwards. I'm so depressed that book that I can't read that book again for the first time. We have that pall just like hanging over, that fog just hanging over the show. Now we have to see if we can find a replacement. Let's start. I think it's going to be best to start with this one. This is our Genepy by Dolin. I've known about this for a long time. Many bartenders have suggested that this is absolutely the replacement. If you're looking for one that you can find, that you can afford, and that you will like, this is the replacement for Green Chartreuse. I've tried it before. I haven't tried it for a while, but now we own a bottle, so we're going to try it more. We'll get this. I think this is a fun sound. Love when a bottle cracks open. This is not an ASMR show, but when we can, we'll put it in there. This is Vegetal Genepy de Chamois in Dolin. The Dolin company has been around for a long time. This liqueur has been around for a long time. 1824. We start seeing this liquor come through. This is when the Dolin guys, there was a whole fight over the name Dolin for a while. But anyway, basically the Edison, not the Tesla, took over the name of Dolin. We don't always love when that happens, but Dolin is still around, so sometimes businessmen are the ones that you want to keep these things going. This is a bunch of herbs. Bunch of herbs that's come from the Swiss Alps. Very similar, the French Swiss Alps, very similar to Green Chartreuse. I think for Shawnee's sake, we should taste it. Is Genepy easier to find than Chartreuse? It certainly is now. The Apostle Tiki. The Chartreuse used to be everywhere. You would go into like one of those we have a place called Circus Liquors in Los Angeles. You could go into Circus Liquor and there would be 10 bottles of Green Chartreuse. They'd be $42 a piece. You could buy as much as you want, and they wouldn't have any other flavor of a green Genepy style liqueur, like a Alps liqueur. Now, because Chartreuse isn't there, liquor stores are now saying, well, if we can't get Chartreuse, we got to find something, because people are asking for the last word. We got to figure out what it is. I'm going to put this in the freezer because I really don't want this to go to waste. This will be too sad to lose that. This is the level that we're working with now, folks. You don't want to lose any of the liquor. Nolet's is a great floral. Oh, Nolet's is a great floral gin. for sure. Find some nolettes. You're in business. Not a replacement for Genepy. We're gonna go ahead and throw in just a little bit of this into our taster. Give it a swirl. Okay. Honestly, I know Sean, one of the let me just put it out there. One of the great cocktailers of Instagram. Probably real life, but I've never met Sean in real life. One of the great cocktails of Instagram. His setup is great. He always has fun new stuff. He is always writing up what he's up to. Got a bottle of Los Santos, Del Santos, Luxardo Del Santos. And he mentioned that he was smelling some anise. In this one, I smell anise. Certainly, had to rewatch the Chicken Lady. Hobby Horse no longer said. You know what? I probably got to go back and watch the Chicken Lady. Such a good, dumb sketch. Such a very good, very dumb sketch. If you can get back and watch a little Kids in the Hall, highly recommend. Yeah. In the Green Chartreuse, I wasn't smelling a lot of the ethanol. I was smelling mint. In this one, I'm smelling menthol. So I think there's a bit of a difference there. What's the ABV on this? Will somebody tell me? 45. Low. I can still smell that big pininess though, so I think we're in a good spot there. Beyond that, yeah, this smells more like a liquor versus this one smelled more like it was a sweet drink. So we're gonna figure out on this taste. Look at those fingers though, baby, moving slow. Hopefully this is a big old taste in our mouth. Remember the Green Chartreuse was a big flavor. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Oh, I think this is ready to go. Let's see if it's all wet. Yes, it's all wet. Start this off here. Since we're doing it, we might as well just knock that in there. Throw this in here, and hopefully soon we'll have a beautiful, clear piece of ice. I'll put it up here so you guys can see it as it drops. Very, very syrupy. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's very gosh, it's a big coating flavor. It certainly has that bigness, that coatingness that the Chartreuse had. Certainly has those pines, some of that mint, but it does taste more like menthol than mint. But much coatier. Shawnee's saying 40 proof. Yeah, 40 proof on the Del Santo. You might not get, so like what I was saying when I said look at those fingers, is there's a lot of little fingers. I don't know if you guys can even see this. I got to get a camera that can show you fingers. Where's one of those? What, Sony, where are you at, guys? Give me a Canon even. I love Canon cameras, but if they can't show me fingers, then they're worthless to me. These fingers, there's a lot of them. But they move really slow. These guys drip, and you can taste that in the sip. Yeah. It's it is certainly similar. Certainly similar. I'm not going to say it's a Coke Pepsi thing because I would never put that evil onto Dolin Génépy. Yeah, hashtag finger cam Kyle is calling for. So Kyle, if you can just get on the phone real quick with Fuji, Canon. I don't deal with Nikon. Get that Nikon stuff right out of here. And Sony. Those are my cameras. Even if GoPro can get it going. Yeah, it's thick, but it isn't. There's just something that isn't there. There's just by like tasting it by itself, there's something that isn't there. Let's make a last word with it and see what we can do. So 1 part Genepy Dolin. We didn't really get a look at it. Certainly not as green. The Green Chartreuse is spectacularly green. This certainly has a green tint to it, but it doesn't have that, like, you're not naming a color after this one, right? You're not going to say this is Genepy green or even just They don't even say Chartreuse green. They say it's Chartreuse. We're going to do 1 ounce of lime juice. Sorry, 1 part of lime juice. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here, Bonbon. Unfortunately, unless you have a monk cousin, you're gonna have a very difficult time making that last word all the time. We don't make the last word all the time because not all of us have monk cousins. All right, we're gonna do 1 part of our Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. Always my bad. I'm gonna say it wrong forever. 1 part of this. And then, of course, we are going to find our gin. We are using Etisia gin. It is a nice gin. It is a fine gin. 1 part gin. The problem with these guys is because we are making such large ice cubes, they do take a while. So we're just going to wait that out for a second. You know what? We'll let that go. We'll put a regular cube in this one, and then we'll put that one in the final one. That seems like a decent enough compromise. Oh, I just remembered that past Cush saved a little bit of last word for future Cush. Unfortunately, I am present Cush, and I'm unable to drink either one of them. So it's a bad deal for me, but somebody's going to be happy. There we go. Everybody in. Can't have a freezer that doesn't close. Can't have a freezer that doesn't close. Take this. Drop this. Hey, knife. Grab our Gaz Regan stirrer. Oh, that's fun. This is a spinning glass, so it also spins when you stir. That's probably not ideal for what we got. The moment of truth. In a last word, not by itself, they are different by themselves. If you want to sit and sip on just straight green chartreuse, and you replace it with Genepy, unfortunately, and the Genepy guys, I'm sure, the Dolin Génépy guys are great, but you're going to have a bad time. It's not the same thing. You're going to miss out on some of the richness. There are just a couple off flavors that go into the Dolin Génépy. I'm not saying it's bad. I would drink it, but as far as green chartreuse, that's just about perfect. This right here, though, is a last word with it. The thing in the chartreuse wars that we truly lost. Let's see how we do. Smells a lot like Luxardo Maraschino liqueur, but that's what the last one smelled like. I really hope this works. It's so close. It's so close. It really... I'm telling you right now, it is so close. This one, in that one, I taste crazily. I taste less lime. I don't taste as much lime in that one. I get the lime, but I'm not overcome with it. I feel like this, the Dolin Génépy, makes a passable version of the last word. It's thin. It just is thin. It doesn't coat. It doesn't make it. There's just something missing. You get it, and you say just missing. Bonbon is asking for saline. I happen to have saline right here. Maybe a little saline. Let's try just a touch of saline. Let's give it a spin so I don't just get a big old mouthful of salt. What is this, dinner at my house? I do all the cooking in my house. I love salt, so I put salt in my stuff. Hopefully my wife also likes that. She hasn't complained yet, but no. In fact, again, very subtle, but that brings out, so with the salt, those off flavors that I was talking about in the Genepy versus the Green Chartreuse, those come out in the cocktail. Don't add saline to this one. Saline isn't all. I know that a lot of bartenders that look like this will absolutely tell you that saline, you got to put saline in everything. Personally, I think, I think saline brings out too much of the pine, too much of the tree. You start to actually taste herbs. While I would say that Green Chartreuse is herbally, I would say that Dolin Génépy tastes like herbs. Is that a fair way to put that? I feel like that's where we're at with it. So, if you are in a fix, this is the methadone. This is the heroin, I believe, is how that works. Okay. I will find uses for the Genepy, and honestly, Bonbon's saying she added to the Mammoth Tusk and was fantastic. Honestly, it may be because I have such reverence, and I love the Mammoth Tusk. I have such reverence for the last word. Truly one of the great cocktails, first great cocktails that I learned. That was my generation coming up in bartending. I know what that should taste like, and I feel like this one just barely misses the mark. But not all is lost, my friends. We have one more drink to make, and I am very excited about this stuff. My booze dealer, Mike, thank you again, Mike, does not have this stuff on display at the place that I go shopping for all my booze. But I did say I was looking for a Green Chartreuse replacement, and he said, buddy, I got you. So he ran to the back in the secret stash. He did say that this is going to be available at a lot more places coming up. We got to cut it open. There we go. We're going to cut this open. This is the Vegetal. It is called the Vegetal de la Grand-Chartreuse, and it is more of a bitters. How the hell are you supposed to open this thing up? Maybe I should just take this off, and it has all. That's what has the name on it. Okay, well they're getting points taken off automatically for making it the most impossible bottle ever to open. Apparently they put it in these. Oh, they put it in this because light affects it. It is 69% alcohol. Oh, gosh, we're going to do that one more time, but we're going to do it on camera. Whoa, look at that. Oh my gosh. Look how cute this little bottle is. So this is Green Chartreuse concentrate. They weren't selling it in the United States for a very long time. Oh, there's the little dropper. It comes with a little dropper inside. They weren't selling it in here for a while. God, I should have really read. I should have opened this before. Let me tell you guys a quick thing about it, and then we'll get to it. The world famous Vegetal is produced by the Carthusian monks using closely guarded secret recipe that dates 400 years. Distilled from 130 different varieties of herbs, plants, flowers, barks, and the Vegetal is a concentrated spirit. There are a variety of ways to enjoy Chartreuse Vegetal. Only a few drops are needed. That's what everybody's saying. It will absolutely ruin a drink the same way the bitters will if you could do it over. A few drops diluted in chilled water, in a cup of water, lemon, and honey, in a toddy, as a substitute for bitters in your cocktail, or literally just on a sugar cube. They threw some enhanced last word. Oh, in the enhanced last word that they give a thing for, they do say that you have to put in Green Chartreuse and then you put in 4 dashes of Vegetal. So maybe it is not exactly a replacement. Either way, we are here. I've done the show. I've prepared the show for this. We are making a last word with this. Here we go. I think that Chartreuse is intense by itself. This one is 15% more alcohol. Whoa! Yes, yeah. If we had what did I say? Mescaline? No. Anyway, yeah. If that's heroin, this is absolutely the opium. This is straight right into your eyeball opium. Oh my God. Okay. Initial taste. It is our initial smell. It is incredibly oaky. It's super oaked. All right. So I'm just gonna. They say when Francois Annibal d'Estran brought this to the monks, he said this is a life enlongener. That's probably not what he said. He said this will make you live longer. If you drink this stuff, it will increase the time you are on this planet. That's how he sold it to the monks. It was meant to be done in one teaspoon at a time. So we're just gonna fill up. I know that this is 1/8 of a teaspoon. We're just gonna fill a little bit of this up right there. And we're gonna taste. Is it food grade? Oh my God. Is this it? Please drink responsibly. Oh my God. This little guy will absolutely put you down. It's very perfumey. You can start to really sense why the monks took 123 years to take this formula and start to we got to figure out how we're going to do this, guy. So, really, wow. I see how it is like Chartreuse. I also see how it tastes like literally and literally, I feel like I just licked the inside of a Dutch clog. It is so oaky. Wow. Oh my goodness gracious. Whoa, what a day we're having. All right, let's make the drink. Okay, I think we got to make the rest of it and then put in the rest of this stuff. Whoa! Jeez Louise. Here's 3/4, or here's a 1 part lime. Can you catch the flu from that? Wow. Okay. 1 part Luxardo maraschino liqueur. Oh my God. I feel like my legs are gonna give out. Whoa. Wow. Honestly, if I had to do that once a day to live longer, I'm cool. Honestly. Bye. We'll see you guys next time. That is intense. Okay, 1 part gin. And I think really the only way to do this is to go drop. I think we got to go drop by drop. I was nervous. This thing came to me from my booze dealer, Mike, who, you know, yeah, I get a little kickback for being such a good little customer. This thing came to me at $27. It's 100 milliliters. So if you had a whole bottle of this, that would be like 27 times $7. That's a lot. Wow. Okay, we're gonna do 2 drops to start. Let's get drop cam in here. One. Oh, I think it spilled. Oh no. Okay, let's get our ice ball out of here. Let's get the ice ball on camera. I feel like this is a show, not just a bunch of people dicking around. There we go. Beautiful ice ball. Drop that in there. Everybody loves that sound, I'm sure. And let's give it a little Gaz Regan stir. We use ice ball, of course, because there's less surface area, so less melting, so more cooling, but less melting. Let's see how we did. Okay, it smells about the same as the other ones because really chartreuse doesn't come through in the smell. So I don't know why I keep smelling this thing. Okay, interesting. We're gonna try a couple more drops. I'm not really feeling the, I'm feeling a lot of the lime, which means that we're missing out on some of the sweetness of the chartreuse. Now, I also have a theory that if we do this, we can put a little bit of simple syrup in here and round the whole thing out. So we're gonna put a couple more drops in here. I just want to be able to taste. I want to be able to taste the, that's not your top, this is your top right there. I want to be able to taste this stuff before we start to figure out what the syrup content of it is. Four dashes. That's Green Chartreuse. It's not sweet. So the lime's coming through, but the Green Chartreuse, let's put a little bit. Oh my gosh, what if we're onto something? What if we figured something out? Oh my God, looking at that color. If I was to get drunk on this stuff in a bar in Chicago, the color green would turn me off for the rest of my life. That stuff sticks with you. I'm gonna put in a 1/4 ounce of some simple syrup. There's some definite sweetness that is in chartreuse that is not in the chartreuse elixir, the Vegetal. So I think we need to replace some of that. Obviously, in the future, we can start to mess with, you know, the types of sugar, the amounts of sugar. This is just plain old white sugar. Now, okay, I put sugar in here, and for the first time, I am starting to smell the Green Chartreuse. Holy crap. There's a little bit more taste in here, but it's coming together, my friends. Six dashes. 6 dashes. I think we have something. We're gonna have to battle box this soon. Yeah. Touch more simple syrup. We did a 1/4 ounce. We're gonna do another 1/4 ounce. One's just a little sweeter than the other, so we're getting still just a touch too much lime. There it is. Half an ounce. Okay. Half an ounce of sugar. Simple syrup. 1-to-1 simple syrup. 3/4 of Luxardo, maraschino. 3/4 of gin. 3/4 of some lime. And you have yourself. It's not exactly it, but it has the ness. It has all, like, the body is there. I'm still feeling, I honestly, maybe what I should do is a 2-to-1 simple syrup, like a rich, I got the hiccups from it. A rich simple syrup, so there's less water. But then then everything else. So less water, more sugar. I want to say a big thanks to my very good friend. Oh, I've already spilled all over it. My very good friend and booze dealer, Mike, from Vintage Wine and Spirits. This is awesome. Apparently, so I did a bunch of research into it. This is the original formula for Green Chartreuse. And the crazy thing about it is they are not changing their production about this at all. And less people know about it. So I feel like in the coming days, it's only in the past few years have they sent it out to the United States. So for all of us in the United States, sorry Loriander, sorry Moose, but for all of us in the United States, this stuff should become available. I mean, should be available now. I looked. Total Wine has it. Bevmo had it. A couple of those like Instacart places have it. It's weird. So also the crazy thing, I know I got to let you guys go here in a second, but the crazy thing is you can put with the 6 dashes at 3/4, you get that good Green Chartreuse taste. You can then start to mess with how sweet you want your cocktail. Low Carb Cocktail Guy, my store has had it for about a year. Hey, talk about adjusting the sweets. I feel like Low Carb Cocktail Guy, you could find a way to say, I don't know what the carbs are in Chartreuse, but maybe the elixir, the Vegetal, is the way to go. Very exciting find. I now have 2 drinks that I'm really looking forward to drinking. Let's see. Could you make a jerry-rigged liquor with vodka, simple syrup, and 6 dashes of elixir? Yeah. You got to find that mix spot. Now I do want to say that the Apostle, things have changed. You haven't been around for a while. Could you? Yeah, I imagine you could. Gosh, I imagine you could. With this amount, honestly, we got to look into it. I got to go back to Mike. I got to say, I got to get another bottle, and we're going to try and experiment. See if we can't make our own Chartreuse. This thing was did I say $27? $27 for this much. But in one drink, we've barely touched. I mean, this is 2 drinks, and we're starting to see. Let's go here. This is 2 drinks. We're starting to see that it's starting to go down. Maybe we can figure it out. We're gonna have to play with the sugar. Obviously, what type of sugar? I don't think white sugar is the way to go. I think you want to get like a bigger sugar, something like a Demerara, something in that direction. Possibly a 2-to-1, but sugar's cheap. As of right now, sugar is still pretty cheap. And finding a way to like make this go. Very exciting. My goodness, because Paul is, it's true, but I didn't know if the Apostle of Tiki had gotten the notice. Paul became a psychopath a while ago, so congratulations to Paul. I am excited about this stuff. This stuff is fun. Okay. I think we did it. Wow. I'm thinking allulose syrup and 6 drops. Absolutely. An allulose syrup and 6 drops. And you can take, other than whatever the carbs are in lime and maraschino liqueur, I suppose. You can make a very low carb. I don't want to write the low carb cocktail show, the low carb cocktail guy show, but I think you could make a very low carb version of the last word by using the Vegetal. I did not think this was going to work, and I am so excited that it did. Let me just get, now that I'm less excited, I'm calm. I'm cool. Whatever, dudes. What, you want to hang or what? They're not the exact same. But all of those flavors that I was talking about, with none of the off flavors, live in both of these cocktails. This is absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, if you can find this, this is your alternative to chartreuse. Now, I also know that this is a product of chartreuse. So at any point, it could go away. But it is delicious. Okay. That's what I got for you guys. I went a little long because I got excited. But okay. Notes for the rest of the week. Hi. Oh, what's up, Moose? Nice good sleep after a long day skiing? Moose. You know the show is like, it just like lives on you. You can always just like say hi in the comments afterwards. It's good to see you. If you're skiing in the Swiss Alps, boy, do I have a liquor for you. Almost put me down. I'm gonna try one more, just small spoonful, and then I gotta get to, I think I have to make dinner. We're just gonna try a touch more, just to see if maybe I've grown accustomed. There we go. Whoa! All right. That's what I got for you guys. Let's hang out again. Quick note, I won't be here on Tuesday. I won't be here Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, just at the bar. So we are coming back. Why did I do that? We're coming back then, of course, on Thursday. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a Tiki Thursday coming up. I am well behind on my editing already, so be prepared for Tiki Thursday. We'll do a big old Tiki Thursday event here at Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. My guest tonight, the reason we did this, my guest tonight had an emergency. We couldn't get him on this week, but we will have him on next week. He is a super funny guy. His wife is really big into cocktails. His wife didn't want to be on the show. I'd much rather have the wife, but this is my friend Chris. He'll be on the show next week. I can't get over what that tastes like. That is bottled insanity. Okay. Anyway, so nothing on Tuesday, but we'll do Tiki Thursday this week so I can catch up on some editing. We'll be back on Saturday for whatever else we're doing here. My name is Dr. Cush. I have been Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. Let me say goodbye to all of you. Please remember these classes will always remain free, but if you can't help out, we have a Patreon, we have a Venmo, and we have a PayPal. Literally just keeps the lights on at the bar while I go out and work my other 5,000 jobs so that we can keep meeting together. I really appreciate everybody that shows up. We do classes Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on most. Am I sure it's not masculine? It's masculine as heck, man. I'm sure my friend Derek Hanley meant mescaline, but it doesn't. It may be masculine. Please watch these guys. The names that go by, these are my patrons. They keep the bar alive. You guys are the greatest. And until next time, what do we always say when we take a shot of that?
Wow.
And then right after that, we say
I'm in danger.
I am in danger. Bye, guys.